the East, but right now we're going to switch the audience to the Midwest, to Dayton, where Ohio State, the 1 seed in the Midwest, goes against Georgia Tech. James Brown and Bill Raftery will be your announcers today from the Midwest.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much, and welcome to Dayton, Ohio, where today on tap, the top seed in the Midwest, the Ohio State Buckeyes, are hosting the number 8 seed, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Ohio State got by a scrappy Towson State squad. Georgia Tech with no problems, winning by 17 over DePaul. Coming up later today, it'll be Texas and St. John's. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown, along with Bill Raftery. And Bill, today's game ought to be an interesting chess match. Ohio State with size, strength, depth to go along with a suffocating four-court trapping defense. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, has a little bit of size, but what it has most of is an outstanding backcourt headed by All-America Kenny Anderson. Can Georgia Tech handle that stifling defense of Ohio State?
We see presses all over the country, but this one in particular is the size, the physical presence. We'll take a look at some tape now, and you'll see denying the inbounds pass, Treg Lee, 6'9", then taking away the passing lane, 6'6", Chris Gent, and of course Jimmy Jackson. Once the ball is inbounded, it's the size and strength as they trap in the corner and the anticipation of Chris Gent to step in to the passing lane. But it's a game of speed as well, as Mark Baker anticipates, reads, as Gent takes away the one return pass, the second one played by the four-man in the back with some speed and the ability to finish it off.
All right, well, not only are the players fired up, you're just as fired up as the players are.
I love the press.
All right, let's get set to talk about the starting lineups for today, then. It really ought to be an interesting matchup between Kenny Anderson and Mark Brown, who's going to have the defensive responsibility.
Well, Kenny Anderson's a kind of a kid that can control the game. His teammates are happiest when he runs the club and gives out the assist. His eyes the last few days have been that of a rested, comfortable individual. The enthusiasm has returned to Kenny Anderson.
Well, enthusiasm is certainly going to be the operative word also for Ohio State, as Mark Brown will be saddled with the responsibility of trying to guard Kenny Anderson, make that Jamal Brown. And on the other side of the coin, Brian Hill for Georgia Tech will be trying to check the Big Ten Player of the Year, Jim Jackson, so he's got a responsibility. The officials for today's contest: Gerald Donaghy is the referee from Haverton, Pennsylvania, Tom O'Neill from Tinley Park, Illinois, and Phil Bova of Westlake, Ohio. A decidedly Ohio State Buckeyes crowd on hand, 13,500 strong here at the University of Dayton Arena. Randy Ayers, the second-year coach at Ohio State, looking on as Matt Geiger and Treg Lee go up for the jump, and it's controlled by Tech. This is John Barry, and Barry starting off quickly with 2. He had 20 the other night to go along with 31 by Kenny Anderson.
2-3 zone. They'll try and match, JB.
Some question as to whether Tech would start off with a zone or man.
They thought that they would have nothing to go to if they started in zone.
We'll find out. This is Treg Lee, who did not start on Friday night. Jackson blocked by Malcolm Mackey. Recovered by Ohio State. This is Jamal Brown with Mark Baker in the backcourt.
They have to look for Jackson for the corner jumpers.
Perry Carter losing the handle on the ball, but fouled. Looks like Brian Hill, number 11 for Georgia Tech. And Hill, a fine defender, again with the big responsibility of guarding Jim Jackson.
And on the out of bounds, they'll look to get him a shot. He uses the post.
Carter, big and strong on the inside, powers his way. Rebounded by Brown. So Ohio State getting the loose balls in the early going off the offensive glass.
And the zone should help Tech rebound. It has not. They got Jackson. Anderson on the reach-in. I thought they were going to give it.
No, as a matter of fact,
they did.
Okay. It looks like they did get a foul to Jim Jackson.
Well, they have fouls that are accidental. They're so big and strong, they're weight fouls. They bump and people move.
First time in the press. Tech handled it well. Tech's very confident going against this Ohio State press. They faced it against Duke all season. Geiger, rebounded by Carter. Jackson for 3. Hill loses the handle. Double clutching move, and Brown can't find the mark.
Frenetic pace really favoring Ohio State as Jamal Brown tags from the rear.
The Ohio State foul on number 30, Jamal Brown.
And that's the first personal on Jamal Brown, team second for Ohio State. We heard Billy Packer talk about Georgia Tech not being very deep at the bench, so I would assume the frenetic pace does not favor the Yellow Jackets.
Well, they'll keep Kenny Anderson on the floor 39 minutes, 40 if possible, but that's what he's averaging for the year. They have to be patient on offense, and their dilemma, if they hold it long, Ohio State has the ability to steal the basketball.
Barry for 3. This is the pace the Buckeyes like. Treg Lee. Three on 2. Barry to Anderson. And there's Kenny Anderson's first basket of the afternoon.
Well, that'll make Kenny happy. He's usually the one dishing to Barry. They will take the cheap ones when the opportunity presents itself.
Makes for a happy backcourt.
Well, early on. Baker can penetrate.
Jackson. Hill with the rebound.
Kenny with the head up. They've got to get something out of their inside people, Mackey and Geiger, if they're going to win.
Anderson, big night against the ball, 31 points. And Hill, not looking the ball in, turns it over.
Roll the post down and through. Nice look.
Jackson. Finally, Ohio State scores at the 17:03 mark. It's a 4-2 Tech lead.
Find the holes. Let's see how Tech handles the press. Here's the trap. Use the big guy to defuse.
Anderson.
Good.
Followed by Mackey.
Good heads-up play. Both Geiger and Mackey sprinted the floor.
Baker getting by Hill, and Hill with the personal foul. Number 2 on Brian Hill.
That first Hill, the guy they need to open things up, as well as Barry against Ohio State.
And again, Hill normally takes the top defensive scoring front court player forward for the opponents, and he can also shoot the outside shot. Carter.
Great slip pass. Jimmy Jackson is gorgeous to watch. Unselfish, finds his partners. Good slip passer.
Almost unselfish to a fault.
Absolutely. And Randy said he'd love him to shoot more often, but he plays within the system. So Ayers content.
Into Malcolm Mackey, the most improved player on the Tech squad. Barry for 3.
Everybody talks about his dad, but his grandfather, Bruce Hale, recruited me. Of course, his mom, a basketball family all her life.
And, of course, John Barry's father, Rick Barry, the former pro. Jim Jackson, uncorked.
Speaking of future pros, he can drill it. They've got to tag him, get up on him.
5 for Jim Jackson, a 2-point Tech lead, 15:40 left in the first half.
Straight up man-to-man. And Bobby Crimmins has used the big guy in the trap in the corner to beat the pressure.
Geiger, anything from him is a plus, and he gave it to him right there.
Ooh, you're tough on him. His teammates are tougher than we are.
But he averages just shy of 12 points a game.
He's not shy himself. Nice look.
Good look. Carter's hands weren't up. And I guess from a coaching standpoint, you want the big guys to always have their hands ready.
All those muscles get in the way. You're not prepared.
Cold genuine draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Dean Witter believed in priorities.
Know why your clients are saving. Know why they're investing.
Okay, come on, folks.
At some point, it's college. Later on, retirement. But Dean Witter knows that often the highest priorities are all the things that happen in between.
Is there anything else you want?
Just the first dance.
There are many ways to measure success.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Every display precisely detailed. Every control thoughtfully placed. Every texture carefully crafted. Every aspect of the Bonneville SSE's spacious interior is designed for a single purpose, to place you in a position of power and control. The 1991 Bonneville SSE, full-size driving excitement from Pontiac.
It's a major reunion.
Have we met before?
When Simon & Simon's Jameson Parker catches up with Gerald McCraney.
You're a Marine. That's right. Great way to disguise hair loss.
Makes your dad Monday.
James Brown, you have your best passer take it out, and John Barry, and then you have a clear route with the guard people so you can enable the big guy to step up, and all of a sudden Geiger can see over the trap. They've diffused the pressure. They can kick it back to Barry, who's a good ball handler, and you've got Kay Anderson, who could even make me a good coach to bring it up.
And another key ball handler breaking the press will be Brian DeMalik, who's into the game now, replacing Brian Hill. Hill with 2 personal fouls.
And the buddies teaming up outside. Mackey. Anderson played by Jackson as they get some help low.
Mackey was awfully quiet on the bus ride over here. Brown misses the 3. Geiger with the rebound. And to finish up on that, the coaching staff said whenever Geiger's quiet, make that Mackey. When he's quiet, they expect a big game.
And Geiger, unfortunately, the last guy down, fouled Jim Jackson. They teased him. He's going to be a good basketball player next year. Unfortunately, when kids transfer, he's in from Auburn. The first year of playing, they're not comfortable. You see that with junior college kids who are ineligible academically. It takes a while to feel that comfort zone.
7 feet, 235 pounds. He's got low post skills, he being Geiger. And Ohio State with the basket.
Treg Lee finding holes in the zone.
Crowd wanted to walk against Kenny Anderson. It's a 13-9 Georgia Tech lead. 14-13 remaining in the first half.
And Baker with the matchup. You can't go for the dribble.
Anderson. Carter with the rebound. Tech 6 of 10 from the floor, starting off well. Lee, nice pass. A little too much dribbling.
Oh, great look, though, from the point. Jim Jackson sees it all.
And a good look. Kenny Anderson to John Barry, and Barry can't get the roll. Gary, make that Barry looking awfully fluid, though, Bill.
Offensive-minded. When Kenny runs the show and he's off the ball, he's more efficient.
Bill Robinson in to replace Treg Lee for Ohio State. Robinson, a 7-footer, knocking in at 250 pounds, a junior.
Baker, according to Randy Ayers, back full tilt right now. The ankle is healed. He's a different basketball player running the show.
Carter gets the roll. Soft touch from Carter in the paint on his jump shots, not so from the free throw line.
Well, big guys, even muscular ones, can get a little roll once in a while.
Mackey got the drop.
Be silent. More often. Bobby Cribben's getting a lot out of him.
And the shot drops off the glass. Jamal Brown.
You cannot relax against Ohio State. They'll come right back at you. The offensive-minded pressure, the mentality, and, of course, the high kiss to boot. Tech not getting set in that 2-3 zone. Paying for it.
That foul goes assessed to John Barry, his first, team 4th. Brown trying to bring the Buckeyes within 1.
Brown, they're tagging Kenny Anderson. First Baker, now Brown. A little physical player on him at this point.
3-guard lineup in there for Tech. Anderson roaming to get free.
Now Barry's a multi-positional player. Much better than they thought coming in.
Anderson rebounded by Robinson.
Jim Jackson drills the open jumper. Now the ability to bounce to ecstasy.
And a tie ball game. Anderson over the 7-footer. And Bill Robinson picks up the foul.
Well, you're in trouble defensively when you can dribble against the zone you've set up. This is just not paying attention to business, but miraculous sleight of hand by the All-American.
Treg Lee back into the lineup, replacing Perry Carter. That foul again on Bill Robinson, one of the few players in the country, Robinson, who's almost even in terms of personal fouls and points. He has 74 personal fouls, only 81 points.
You are cruel today. You're getting it all in. They got a lane violation. We're saying Kenny Anderson was on the line when he shot. You don't see that too often, at least in the playgrounds we grew up in.
As frequent as hen's teeth, maybe, huh?
You know, the substituting up front by Randy Ayers. Now he's rotating his big guys to be physical and strong, knowing the limitations of Georgia Tech up front.
Anderson drops in his third point. And a foul called on John Barry. So Barry picking up his second personal foul.
Georgia Tech foul, number 14.
Nice move by Bobby Crimmins. The 2-2-1 pressure. Ohio State was not ready for it. Been a great year for them when you think of it, losing two great players, and Scott and Oliver coming back with Kenny Anderson and company. They've had some ups and downs. Nice look.
Lee. Anderson showing his rebounding prowess, averaging just about 6 rebounds a game, Kenny Anderson. Anderson rubs him off a pick, and Robinson picks up another foul. Second on Robinson. That'll be the 4th team foul. So we've got a break in the action here in Dayton, Ohio. Tech leads it by 1.
It begins with the efficiency of sequential poured fuel injection. It flows through a power plant cradled in fluid-filled mountings, and it manifests itself in the precision of Bonneville's fully independent suspension. This is advanced technology you can feel. This is full-sized excitement from Pontiac. This is Bonneville.
The people of Delta would like to recognize the sacrifice made by our armed forces and their families.
We do have a special military affairs.
Now, with our welcome home fares, active military personnel and their eligible family dependents can travel to USA for 70% less.
Albuquerque, New Mexico? Is that your hometown? That's right, ma'am. I'm going home.
Anti-lock brakes.
Somewhere between crime and punishment is Dark Justice. Premieres Friday, April 5th on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
For the 12th time in the last 22 years, this has been the site of an NCAA tournament game. Ohio State has never led in this contest. 11 minutes, 55 seconds remaining, trailing by 1 as we take a look at Bobby Crimmins.
And I talked to Bobby before the game. His dad passed away about a year ago. He carries a shamrock, and this is March 17th. They're very successful on March 17th, 2-0, and a memorial card of his dad. County Curry and Cork. The mother and father are brought.
Anderson off the mark. This is Jim Jackson to Treg Lee. Jackson. Lee playing volleyball.
Too many.
Brown gets the tap. Brian Hill. Third personal foul on Brian Hill, a charging foul.
James, the problem when you beat the pressure is who's going to make the decision. If it's Kenny Anderson, you're a good coach. If it's Brian Hill, he's got to be the receiver of the pass, leading directly to the basket.
So a major defensive player out of the game for Georgia Tech.
Bobby's going to be forced to come out and play man-to-man eventually. They're finding too many holes, too many offensive opportunities, and Bobby Crimmins gets a technical.
Protesting the call against Brian Hill, Crimmins thought that it was a blocking foul, protested it too much.
Technical foul has been called on a Georgia Tech miss. Jackson on the line.
Now, Bobby Crimmins, I enjoy him because he's a little bit like me. He's volatile. He says his 2 cents worth, but you can see Robinson set up in plenty of time. Hill committed early, but before the game, he's not himself. He's not sure who's who. And Jimmy Hebron, before his assistant, before the Carolina game, said, "Coach, who should we put on King Rice?" He said, "Let's put John Crotty on him." He said, "Coach, he plays for." He said, "No, no, no, no. Put
University of
Anderson on him."
Virginia.
So before the game, he is in a knot.
1 of 2 free throws from Jackson expands the lead. Robinson pads it even more. It's now a 4-point Ohio State lead.
Zamalik enables Kenny Anderson to play off the ball. So this is sort of the scoring-minded offense. And they get Robinson, your man.
Robinson comes off the bench with the foul. According to the coaching staff, he's now got 3.
In the breakfast line, he has a couple of giveaways. Gets in the scorebook early.
Malcolm Mackey really wants the ball badly down low as Perry Carter comes in to replace Bill Robinson. And Chris Gent in to replace Jamal Brown. Chris Gent started on Friday night in place of Treg Lee. Treg Lee, late for a team meeting on game day. First time in 28 games, Lee did not start.
He's the electricity, the fire in their press, too. So it'll go up a notch for Ohio State.
Anderson. Anderson only 1 of 6 from the floor. Good defense being applied to him. Lee, nice pass into Perry Carter. In and out. If Carter finds the range, it looks like he can have his way physically, just much stronger.
Stepping in front of the inside people are not doing a good job. It's not their preferred defense. They're just trying to steal time, Georgia Tech.
Jackson rebounds. Barry's miss.
Great.
Nice pass. Ohio State ball.
When your best player gives it up, is unconcerned about points, good things happen, as Jimmy Jackson certainly showed. The extra pass, the head up. I think he's one of the great players in the country. The pass that leads to the pass, and the only problem wasn't a strong finish, but a big guy.
Jackson gets his own rebound. Carter. Blocked by Geiger. Somehow Carter doesn't feel right unless someone is hanging on his body.
He likes to bang some people. As they spend a lot of time in the weight room, maintenance during the season 2 days before, and Carter with the giveaway.
Matt Geiger calling for the ball is fouled by Perry Carter. That's number 1 on Carter, 6th on Ohio State. 1 away from the 1-and-1.
JB, I asked Perry Carter, I said, who's stronger in the weight room, you or Treg Lee? And he looked at me and said, you have to ask? Like, take a look at this.
The 3-guard lineup for Tech. Anderson, Demolic. John Barry out of the game now, so they're back to a standard 2-guard set. Oh.
Kenny Anderson should have taken it on the same side. Nice backdoor. I think Newbell fouls at the end of this, JB. Step, put that lead foot out, and put the right foot forward. Great. I thought he should have taken it this side. Tries to add a little extra, comes up short. Takes a lot of strength to do that.
And the foul actually assessed to Matt Geiger. That's number 2 on Geiger's 7th Tech foul, so it's a 1-and-1 situation here. Off the bench for Ohio State, getting set to check in, Jamie Skelton, 6'2" freshman guard. And he replaces Jim Jackson.
A rest substitution, a good defender coming in. And you may look for Baker to do more damage with the bounce now with Skelton in the ballgame.
Speaking of damage, that's what Perry Carter does at the free throw line.
He's not in that way. He hasn't broken any backboards. He's been chipped a little paint here and there.
In fact, the rim did require repainting. A 15-3 run by Ohio State has the Buckeyes in front, 22-16. And this defense is really disrupting the Tech offense.
Well, Skelton can really rag a guy.
Anderson still cannot find the range. 1 of 8 for Anderson. And Baker charging foul. And twists the ankle. And it's that same ankle that Randy Ayers said must be completely healed because of his defensive play on Friday night. Let's see whether or not it plagues him.
And JB, they were saying he just took off a cast for the game the other night for the first time. But Demolic with nice position. You can be moving as long as you're in front of the dribbler.
Baker playing in front of hometown fans here at Dayton, Ohio. Played at Dunbar High.
That's where Kenny's tougher, right out at the top. He can make these.
Demolic misses the 3. And Kenny Anderson will be whistled for the foul there as he knocks down Treg Lee. Kenny Anderson picking up his first personal foul. So a tough first half for Kenny Anderson.
And you see that little spot on the back of his head. That's from worry. Everybody talking NBA. The burdens on a youngster trying to play. He just wants to enjoy himself. And he got some tonic for the hair to have it grow. People catering to him.
As I mentioned before, that 15-3 run by Ohio State gave them their first lead, and they've expanded it by 6, 22-16.
There's that hair lotion. If I had known, I would have used it for my team if they could play like Kenny.
Well, I'm sure the riches to come will soothe that worry.
Much more relaxed, though. His attitude and presence so important to the overall look of Georgia Tech.
Treg Lee makes it a 7-point lead, and it stays there. Lee with the loose ball. Mackey with the rebound. So a bigger front line for Tech in there, and Geiger, Mackey, and Ivano Newbill to go along with Kenny Anderson and John Barry in the backcourt.
To compete with the rebounding. Ohio State physically and size-wise dominating. The difference in Ohio State, this man-to-man defense. They go play you.
Geiger forces it. Baker on the break. Up to Carter. Blocked by Geiger, but fouled by Geiger. Number 3 on Matt Geiger.
And a good call here in a sense. They didn't call goaltending. The pin on the glass, you can do it in college on the way up. But when you have big bodies running the floor like Ohio State, and Geiger, Newbell, and Mackey cannot compete, you're going to have a long evening, a long afternoon.
Take a look at Bobby Crimmins talking to Kenny Anderson. Mark Baker and Jamie Skelton have taken a seat on the bench for Ohio State. Jim Jackson and Jamal Brown back in.
And talking to Kenny yesterday, he said Bobby Crimmins is a player's coach. I love playing with him, or for him.
Demolic back in for Matt Geiger. Perry Carter 1 for the last 10 at the free throw line. 2 for 11. So Carter more pleased than anyone for making that one.
The women's Final Four in 2 weeks.
Hi, my name is Mike. This is a story about me and my friends. Like my mom, she's a wonderful mother. And my dad, he is one cool dude. That's my teacher. She is the best.
Mike's a super kid. Mike is very...
brilliant.
Outspoken.
That's my friend Tracy. I think she's beautiful. Come on, let's take a ride to McDonald's. There's all my friends. Hey, you know, me and James are our best pals. We are a great team. High is up. Perfect. Ever since I was a little baby, people are always trying to help me. So now I love to say, welcome to McDonald's. May I help you?
Come on, you guys, we're going to be late.
So what? We're just going to lose again anyway.
The Mazda MPV four-wheel drive can help you get just about anywhere you want to go.
Let's go home.
Its V6 engine and rear anti-lock brakes let you handle even the worst weather with confidence.
Face it, Mom, we stink.
Hey, where's that team spirit, huh?
Hey, Gail. The other team couldn't make it. You guys win by forfeit.
The Mazda MPV four-wheel drive.
It just feels right. If the weather stays bad, we can take the title.
Georgia Tech did start fast, 5 of 8 from the floor. Since they've gone 2 of 12, that accounts for that 35% field goal percentage. Hill and Geiger in foul trouble, and as Billy Packer mentioned, Tech does not have a deep bench. As a result, Tech trailing by 8 with 7:20 remaining in the first half. This is Brian Demolick for Tech.
Is that Gent? You don't need a janitor when Chris Gent plays for your club.
Floor burns.
Oh, he'll clean it up.
If he slides any further, he'll catch on fire.
The laundromat may not be happy.
So it's the 3-guard alignment for Tech. Anderson, Demolick, and Barry, along with Mackey and Ivano Newbill down low. Under 10 on the shot clock. Mackey for Newbill with the rebound.
Got to make that.
Jackson blocked by Mackey. Tech ball. And Jamal Brown trying to get the steal, knocks it out of bounds. Tech ball. Ohio State, the #1 seed, leading the 8th seed, Georgia Tech, 24-16. Tech had gotten off very quickly, and Kenny Anderson only his second field goal, 2 of 9 from the floor. But his Tech teammates had started fast. Since then, the Ohio State defense has really bothered him, Bill.
That and rebounding. This is the best defense I've seen Ohio State since their Indiana game, February 21st. They are aggressive, going after people.
Gent off the mark. Newbill with the rebound. We talked about Ohio State on the boards, 21-12 off the glass. And Anderson drawing the foul from Jamal Brown. Ohio State held off a scrappy Towson State to advance. Georgia Tech easily by 17 over DePaul. Their meeting now coming later. It'll be Texas and St. John's, 2 coaches who are very familiar with each other. Tom Penders and Luke on the second.
They've had a number of ball games, but in this particular game, I think Kenny Anderson has been stymied. He's much better out on top, doing some penetrating. But good pressure defense and the great offensive rebounding by Ohio State has been the story.
Anderson with 6 points, coming off of a 31-point night on Friday night. But you can see he's struggling from the field today.
Said he didn't want to call his high school coach Jack Curran because he played poorly in the ACC, and he knew Jack would be all over him. Thought he would call him last night after a good performance this weekend.
Well, I'm sure he's hoping he can make the phone call today as well.
Still the 2-3. They're saving their man-to-man. But they've got to rebound out of it, and they're very small, particularly on Barry's side of the zone.
Mark Baker to Jim Jackson. Perry Carter, Treg Lee, and Jamal Brown, the 5. This is Brown for 3. Lee with the rebound. And he scores. The 9th offensive rebound by Ohio State. Basket will not count. But again, underscoring the physical strength advantage that Ohio State enjoys.
Well, JB, in the zone, you don't have a priority in a checkout. But Newbell didn't run in, be aggressive, present himself. You've got a body, step into somebody. They're not doing it. They're very listless in their pursuit of mission.
Treg Lee at the line, 2 throws.
We mentioned that Treg Lee did not start on Friday night, the first time in 28 games because he was late for a team meeting. He said he wants to make amends today out here on the floor. And Lee drops in his 3rd point of the afternoon. Chris Gent into the lineup, replacing Jamal Brown.
The deployment by Bobby Crimmins has enabled them to get the ball in. They've brought both big guys down. They've been able to hit them just like this and diffuse the pressure. And no secondary break by trap by Ohio State.
Shows you how suffocating the defense of Ohio State has been. 1 field goal in the last 7 minutes. Georgia Tech lucky to be down by only 6, and a foul called on Malcolm Mackey, and he can't believe it. That's foul number 2 on Mackey.
They're setting up their post cut. What do they call him? Cream puff. Newbell. He says he got the big cheeks. You can see why. But there was a post play for Anderson to curl and receive the pass. They said Mackey move.
Now, major decision for Bobby Crimmins. He's already got 2 guys with 3 personal fouls. Brian Hill, his best defender, and Matt Geiger. Do you leave Mackey in there, running the risk of him picking up his 3rd personal?
Well, his experience, hopefully, will help him in this situation. It depends how a coach has been doing it all year long. And in this case, he's leaving Mackey. You may see him yo-yo Geiger and Mackey in the next 5 minutes.
Would you leave him in?
I would right now. And just make sure he doesn't move on any of his post screens.
Baker 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Ohio State. Anderson still pressing. Gent gets the loose ball.
They use the floor, don't they?
All of it. And he uses his body nicely. Carter can't get the drop, though.
Numbers.
And Anderson, you can tell he's really trying to take control himself.
Numbers and in control.
9 points for Kenny Anderson, a 5-point Ohio State lead, under 5 to play in the first half. Anderson with the steal. Over to Dumalik.
Kenny sees
Mackey.
Great look. Dumalik. It's contagious. Kenny sees everything. He didn't make the gamble pass. Held on to the dribble.
Nice pass by Brian Dumalik, who played with Dennis Scott in high school at Flint Hill Prep in Oakton, Virginia.
The overload should be on Barry's side. You see Jackson over there? I think they can do some damage right there.
Carter with the rebound. Slapped out of bounds by Dumalik. 3:46 left in the first half. It's a 3-point Buckeyes lead.
Okay, just like I show you now, on the paper. On the paper. Yeah, no, come on back. Come on back.
Kids introduces training shoes.
On the paper. On the paper. No, I said on the paper.
Kids, they feel good.
Anybody want to go outside?
Kids introduces
Yeah, me neither.
loafers. Kids, they feel good.
So what'd you use? My checker-faced framing hammer.
In New Britain, Connecticut, people don't talk about the weather.
You use a checker-faced framing hammer?
Where was your curved claw finish hammer?
You see, since 1843, New Britain's been the home of Stanley.
But I got him a Stanley handsaw last year for his birthday.
And if local conversation revolves around tools,
Hey, fellas, look at this.
whoa, it's only because we make tools worth talking about.
Stanley's 12-foot power lock tape rule, huh?
When it came to redefining the word luxury, it wasn't a Webster. It was Oldsmobile.
The 98 defines luxury in terms of how much you get, not how much you spend. Anti-lock brakes, fuel-efficient power, computerized suspension, technology found in cars costing thousands more.
And you can always take a Webster at his word.
The new 98, luxury redefined.
Generation Autos.
Great values, big prizes during Oldsmobile's drive to the Final Four Sell-a-thon. You can't miss.
This is Harry Smith.
And I'm Paula Zahn. Tomorrow, Robert De Niro. He's starring in a new movie about blacklisting in the 50s.
Plus, Gene Hackman joins us on CBS This Morning.
Triple header coverage coming your way today on CBS. Some of you will see Penn State against Eastern Michigan. Big win by Penn State. Wake Forest, a big rugged front line against Alabama. Texas St. John's from right here at the University of Dayton. And, of course, Michigan State will take on Utah. Randy Ayers, boy, does he have a physically strong team.
He does, and he worked under Gary Williams, not afraid to steal things. Felt that Gene Cady had the strongest team in the league, went and got that weight program, installed it here at Ohio State. And I said, do you use the weights? He said, no, I ride the bike. He's pretty impressive to me.
Speaking of Gene Cady, do you remember the Prince of Pecs, Jim Rowinski?
Oh, yeah, Rowinski, and then Scheffler, of course. Big Ten Player of the Year.
Baker. Anderson with the rebound. Anderson slowly but surely finding the range. 11 for 27 for the Tech team from the floor, and Tech trailing by just one.
Kenny said that Jack Curran, his coach, said, Kenny, you got to hit the jumper. And he said it in the New York accent, too.
Gent for three, Chris Gent. Billy, it looks like Ohio State intermittently applying the press.
They are now back to a 1-3-1 half court, so you're going to get baseline jumpers in this. Of course, their wing people are Lee and Jackson. They're a great rebounding team in this set.
A 30-26 Ohio State lead with 2:13 remaining in the first half. Kenny Anderson off the mark, 3 of his last 5 after starting 1 of 8. So Kenny Anderson has helped to bring the Yellow Jackets within striking distance. But it's been the suffocating full-court trapping defense of Ohio State and their mastery on the boards that's been the difference so far.
And their physical play, too. Their man-to-man defense has been a good. Look at this pass. Well, you love it when your president applauds. I had 7 in 10 years. They gave me the Bronx cheer.
Well, they ought to find a hat that fits him, though. Last 10 minutes, you see the story of the game there. Georgia Tech not doing very well from the field, nor Ohio State, but Ohio State has the 6-point lead.
See, this defense keeps the ball out of Anderson's hands a little bit. See Baker jamming up. They're going to force him to take some tough shots if possible.
Mackey, quick shot, but gets the drop. Malcolm Mackey drops in his 10th point, and Mackey on the season averaging 15.
Well, the philosophy by Ayers worked because you get the other people to shoot it, not Anderson.
Baker, Lee, Robinson, Gent, and Jackson to 5. And this is Bill Robinson, 7-footer, with the rebound and score.
Size rebounds right now.
And anything from Robinson is gravy. He averages only 2 points a game.
Well, they don't ask him to do a lot of things on that end. They've got some other answers. And they're going to delay a little, get a rest here.
Under 30 to play in the first half.
Got a 4-second discrepancy in the shot clock and game clock. And they go man-to-man now. Look at the double up.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Demolik over to Barry for 3. Air ball. Mackey has it stripped. Jim Jackson to Baker. Oh.
Chris Gent set this up with the defense. But look at the ability to find people. Oh, great control of the game.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Ohio State 36, Tech 28. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message from your local station.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the second round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by McDonald's. Always good food, always good value. Kids, they feel good. And by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
Every summer weekend, millions of the smartest guys in America fire up their Murray mowers. What makes them so smart is that Murray's rated one of the best in quality and performance, with a 2-year warranty backed by 10,000 service dealers at a price that's about half of other top quality mowers, which makes Murray mowers tough as they come, any way you cut it.
Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA championships, calls this time out to tell you about the other game in town. The Oldsmobile Drive to the Final Four Cellophane. At your Olds dealer, you can get a great deal on every new 1991 Oldsmobile. In addition to the terrific values, you'll also have a shot at winning hundreds of prizes like a new Cutlass Supreme or a large screen TV. Hey, with deals like this, you can't miss.
If you have an insurance repair on your home and you have Allstate, it's in our hands. We know some very reliable contractors. It's our business too. So if you choose a contractor we recommend, we guarantee the workmanship of their repairs for 1 year. That's why you're in good hands with Allstate. A member of the Sears Financial Network.
He's on the run from outlaws who killed his family, but is a mysterious drifter his only hope. Rick Schroeder and Wilfred Brimley, Blood River, tonight.
If she pleads guilty to a driving offense, she's admitting it's her car, and we can connect her to the jewelry.
And the murder. Suppose we go to court on this, and I twist you up like a pretzel.
Your pizza's getting cold.
The Antagonists, Tuesday, March 26th.
This is CBS.
Hearty's 99-cent breakfast, made from scratch biscuit with sausage. That's the one I want. Sold. Yeah, wait a sec. Pancakes look good, too. Okay, pancakes it is. Hold it. Biscuits and gravy. I didn't see those. Or hot cinnamon raisin biscuits, full sauce, 99. Where? Go back.
Can I help you?
With all this at 99 cents, the only easy choice is where to go.
Sausage, cinnamon raisin biscuits.
99-cent breakfast. Only Hardee's.
I'm calling this time out to tell you about the other game in town, the Oldsmobile Drive to the Final Four Cellophane. At your Olds dealer, that means more than cash back. It means this specially equipped Cutlass Supreme with a 3-point bonus back that won't cost you extra. V6, fog lamps, leather-wrapped steering wheel, aluminum wheels, and more. A $12.99 value. No extra charge. As for cash back, your Olds dealer will toss that in, too. Hey, with deals like this, you can't miss.
Welcome back to New York, everybody. Jim Nance along with Billy Thacker and Mike Francesa. It's an 8-point lead for the Buckeyes at the intermission. And what a big goal right before the buzzer there, Mike.
Well, it was a big 4-point turnaround. Instead of being maybe 4, it's 8. But I think Georgia Tech is in pretty decent shape here. Anderson only 4 for 13 in the first half. And they had a chance, Billy, to blow Georgia Tech out, and they didn't do it. I think Georgia Tech is still in this ballgame.
Well, one of the things about this team so much different than last year, and you can see the pressure on Kenny Anderson. He's 4 for 13 in the first half, realizing he has to do so much. He's no longer a member of the Lethal Weapon 3. He's just out there by himself. I think it's very discouraging for that young man. You notice the spotting in his hair. They're calling him spots. The tremendous amount of pressure. Do you go pro? Don't you go pro? I think there needs to be a major change in NCAA legislation so that these young kids have an opportunity to make that decision in a reasonable amount of time.
Losing his hair because of all the
That wasn't my choice, but
I was going to ask you.
They never call me Spots, but
same thing that happened to Roger Maris.
Exactly.
When he chased Babe Ruth in '61.
Right.
Guys, looking ahead, of course, the big game out west puts Georgetown against defending national champion Nevada, Las Vegas. And as Leslie Visser reports from Tucson, right now UNLV is worried about more than just the problems the Hoyas can present.
It's okay to believe the hype about UNLV. They have the talent, the timing, the Technicolor dunks. About their only concern is the status of center George Ackles, who sprained the top of his foot 2 days ago against Montana. The foot isn't swollen, but UNLV is not going to decide whether or not he'll start until just before the game. He's going to run, shoot a little bit, test it, see how severe the pain is. One possible scenario is that he won't start, but he'll come off the bench behind junior Elmore Spencer. In the meantime, Jerry Tarkanian's been looking forward to this game for a long time. He's never beaten Georgetown, and one of the worst defeats of his career came 6 years ago when the Hoyas beat the Rebels by 36 points.
Well, they had Patrick 4 to 5 times, so I'm glad Patrick's not going to suit up Sunday.
About, I guess, Michigan. That's the next set of games here on our triple header Sunday. Now, when we come back, Villanova and North Carolina will give you a live look as they're about to start the second half from Syracuse. We'll continue in just a moment.
Personal 800 calls on Mother's Day.
An 8-point lead for Ohio State, and having the advantage on the offensive rebounding stat board. It's an 11-2 advantage in that department. Right now, they've just begun the second half in Syracuse. A 12-point lead for Carolina at the half. It's now at 10. Here's Tim Ryan along with Dan Bonner.
Second round action. Carolina and Villanova. The Tar Heels by 10. Tim Ryan with Dan Bonner. And Carolina with the ball early in the second half. We're just underway. 18:40 to go.
It's a game that has so far really proved the point that coach's time is before the game, players' time is during the game. Villanova has executed Rolly Massimino's attack very well right up to the point where it's been time to shoot the ball in the goal. Villanova has not shot well, and as a result, they've fallen behind by 12.
Davis with a two-pointer for 10 points on the game for Carolina. Third out for Walker. Lance Miller, he's got it.
Villanova comes out shooting much better in the second half. Those open jump shots will go down. We'll have a better game in the second half.
Rice driving, but Dowdell blocked it. Walker quickly the other way. 3-on-2, and Walker with a jump. 46-38, 11 points.
Funny,
Walker.
Everybody talked about how this game would be a slowly paced game, that Villanova would try to slow the ball down. It's been anything but a slowly paced game.
Fox from the top of the key. 8 points for Fox.
All right, so Rick Fox answers the Villanova flurry to begin the second half. We'll keep you posted on this game, but we've got to get you back to Dayton for Georgia Tech and Ohio State after this word from your local station.
The traction control system of the Lexus LS400 helps reduce tire spin across rain, sleet, snow, even an occasional patch of ice. Magical, powerful, essential. At GTE, we place that power at the touch of your hand. The power to open any darkness, to illuminate the facts of science, brighten the arenas of sports and business, create the warm glow that means home. At GTE, we give you the power of Sylvania light in 6,000 ways, none of them small. At GTE, the power is on.
Extra-strength Rolaids antacid. Stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet, and salt-free. More calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
This is CBS.
I'm tired of the game.
Why can't one car dealer say, I'll sell it at this price, make a reasonable profit, and we'll both be okay?
Makes sense.
Fine. Try to find a car dealer who does.
Hannon Olds Nissan. Just try us.
I'd love a high-performance sports car, but who's got $30,000 to blow?
Could you handle a Nissan 240 SX for $12,990?
No problem. But try and find a car dealer who'll do that.
Hannon Olds Nissan. Just try us.
This is it.
There's only one light beer with big draft taste. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft Light.
Yeah, we're gonna need some help up here, over.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the second round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Subway, sandwiches and salads for the healthy appetite. And by Bud Dry, why ask why? Try Bud Dry for refreshment that's beyond question.
Halftime of game one here at the University of Dayton, Ohio State on top 36-28. James Brown back with Bill Raftery. But Bill, it is not a comfortable 8-point lead by Ohio State. As a matter of fact, Georgia Tech ought to feel pretty good.
They have to. They haven't played real well. They also have saved their primary defense, the man-to-man, so they have that in safekeeping.
A couple of foul problems, of course, for Georgia Tech with Hill and Geiger with 3. But it's been the overall defensive philosophy that's helped Ohio State in the first half.
Well, the full court pressure is to recover once they beat you and get back. And you can see the deflection by Gent set up this little 2-on-2 break, but the sleight of hand, the ability to find people by Jim Jackson. Great look. And here's a guy, he's out of control, but he's in control. He can ring the bell with the best of them. Hasn't had a great shooting half, but with this kind of penetration, he could get this club right back in it.
Why should Georgia Tech feel good at the half? Well, they were manhandled on the offensive glass, 11-3. They're still in the game by only 8. Another reason, field goal percentage horrible the last 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Ohio State again getting a lot of second chance opportunities. And a hot and cold first half by Kenny Anderson. Started only 1 of 8, finished up 3 of 5. He is the leading scorer at half. At the halfway mark, Jim Jackson with 10 points. Jim Jackson averaging 18, but again, Brian Hill for Georgia Tech saddled with 3 personal fouls, the best defensive player. Back in there, he will be charged with the responsibilities in a man-to-man with covering Jackson.
2-3 zone to start. And the one thing Randy Ayers did well was change people on Anderson. A lot of different looks and a lot of different sizes to compete against.
And again, a lot of negative numbers that I talked about, but again, reasons why Georgia Tech ought to feel pretty good, being clearly within striking distance. Lee into Carter, and Carter. So Perry Carter called for traveling. Not an impressive first half at all for Georgia Tech, a hot and cold one in general. Trailing by only 8, Georgia Tech in the yellow uniforms against Ohio State. And Kenny Anderson, 11 first half points, but indeed a hot and cold half for him. Only 4 of 13 from the field, so it's still anybody's ball game, Bill Raftery.
And he can scoot and blow by people. Right now, he's the point guy. A lot of bumps for him on the post area. And Baker having a problem, but look at the help by Carter.
Geiger, nice pass from Anderson and the slam.
That's the read, the understanding. He drew the big guy, knew somebody was free, the soft lob.
If Kenny can continue to be that unselfish, that helps him.
And everybody else, too. When he forces, they have problems.
Barry, over to Anderson. Anderson can't get the layup. Mackey with the rebound, though. The follow by Barry. Aggressive play by John Barry, and Geiger off of his knee.
And again, the forceful nature, they get it down quickly. Tech not set.
Barry, rebound and leading the break. Pass to Geiger. And Geiger, the recipient of a second assist.
If you get down the floor, you can do some damage. Look at this. Oh, my goodness.
And John Barry threw himself into the table, reminiscent of when he fell into the table up at the Meadowlands, but was out for a few minutes.
You worked that game, but this is effort. You have to love his performance every game. He's made himself into a terrific college player. Heart, dedication, and all-out effort.
Hey, Billy, that ought to inspire the other players.
It's got to be contagious.
Probably knocked out a laptop computer, though. Carter.
Ohio State Perry Carter.
Anderson. And the score.
Well, you talk about explosion and things being contagious. He must have met somebody at a young age because he's been good for a long time. Kenny Smith's his buddy and the guy he looks up to. Well, Kenny can't blow by much quicker.
Mark Baker picked up his second personal foul as Kenny Anderson drops in his 14th point. It's a three-point ball game. Ohio State led by 8 at the half.
There's Kenny now with Houston lighting it up. Former Malloy great.
Treg Lee from Perry Carter. Carter with the rebound. And a strong move by Perry Carter.
Randy Ayers has been getting the ball to the high post and then down. You can see the inside scoring by Ohio State.
Anderson should have passed it. Hill. Mackey. A fresh 45, Anderson.
A little too quick now. They got to slow it down.
Geiger. Charging foul. And personal foul number 4 on Matt Geiger.
So you have to pull the plug. And Anderson was not out front, so they went for it right away. Geiger assumes that's what the coach wants. If the point guy can get it back, bring it back out, calm everybody down, something good might happen.
Ivano Newbill comes in to replace Matt Geiger. So Geiger, who started strong, picks up another foul, number 4. He's on the bench.
Now you lead him to trouble. The high-low has been devastating there, and the dump down of the shot.
And Carter having his own way with the rebounds, continuing the mastery on the offensive glass. Perry Carter with 13 points.
JB, he can have his way with me anytime.
The man, of course, who was voted by many in Columbus as having the best body in Columbus. Perry Carter.
And that's said with a little sarcasm, I think.
Hill blocked from behind by Treg Lee, but a foul. Treg Lee picks up foul number 1.
Or envy, baby, over the body. Kenny now has to take over, and I mean in the assist category. Get the mindset organized, get his big people involved, and play within himself. Great competitors.
Hill looking to cut into a Buckeye 7-point lead. The Tech coaching staff would really love to see Brian Hill put the ball up a bit more, Billy. He doesn't shoot it enough, but he is perhaps the best perimeter shooter.
Because he's from your neighborhood, used to sneak out late at night and shoot in the backyard. His mother thought he was asleep.
Played for Red Jenkins down at W.T. Woodson in Virginia. And the official, very aggressively running by, knocked off the monitor that we had here on the table, Bill.
Well,
and he didn't feel a thing.
Bill Boba with a lot of hustle. Jerry Donahue. And, of course, Tom O'Neill has done a nice job up to that point.
And we're set to play after a little housekeeping. Randy Ayers, Big Ten Coach of the Year. Already selected by the United States Basketball Writers of America as the National Coach of the Year as well.
Now, I might be tempted to put Jackson in the high post. They're getting shots there. He hasn't had many.
Jackson on the glass, can't find the drop, but Perry Carter does.
Call the Red Cross. Tech needs help on the glass.
Ohio State just killing Georgia Tech on the glass. Second chance points underscores the remark. Barry for three.
Too deep, too quick. Composure essential by Tech right now.
And Kenny Anderson picks up foul number 2. Team second. And Ohio State, staying with it, has pushed the lead back up to 8.
There's a thread that runs through our lives. A thread that binds us together. Friendship, family, pride. These are the values that endure. The best things have always been those that last. Chevrolet, the truck that lasts.
The heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
Division II, it's second to none. The NCAA Division II Basketball Championship next Saturday on CBS Sports.
8-point Buckeyes lead with 15:38 remaining, and teams here in Dayton, Ohio, looking to advance to the round of 16. Texas and St. John's yet to come. 2 teams yesterday from the other half of the Midwest bracket, UConn and Duke, have advanced to the round of 16. Duke with an excellent performance from that freshman Grant Hill, playing with a hip pointer as well as a broken nose. Talk about tenacity.
Great talent. We'll be enjoying him for years to come. And they post up, Jackson. Got to get him in the flow.
Foul whistled under the basket.
Carter, that time with the shove. Of course, he raises his arm and 3 people move generally.
Well, Randy Ayers has to be pleased with Perry Carter's performance. 8 points, 11 rebounds, 5 on the offensive glass. You take a look at Tech. Tech itself with 8 second-half points. John Barry, Malcolm Mackey, Brian Hill, Kenny Anderson, and Ivano Newbill, the 5 in for Georgia Tech.
This little pick and roll I like. They haven't gone to it much. I think you got to give Kenny some help.
Barry can't get the 3. And Mackey, trying to find some room, is fouled. I think it's Mark Baker. That will be number 3 on Mark Baker.
Ohio State foul on number 3, Mark Baker.
So Randy Ayers will have to do something. And it looks like he is. In fact, Jamie Skelton coming in to replace Mark Baker. Skelton, another local boy from the Dayton area, played at Meadowdale High School. Known by his teammates as perhaps the weakest of the guys in the weightlifting room.
That's right. He might as well stay, shoot layups.
And a layup indeed was that, dropped in by Brian Hill.
And a real breakdown defensively that time by Ohio State. Man-to-man, the last 2 trips by Tech. And they saved this all game.
Jackson loses the handle but gets the ball back and pushes the Buckeyes back in front by 8. Pretty! Treg Lee with the slam.
Well, Ohio State generally doesn't like the forward pass, but if they decide to become a passing team in football, put Jimmy Jackson at quarterback. He just finds people, loves to dish.
Number 34.
Treg Lee picks up his second personal foul. That'll be the 5th team foul for Ohio State as Bill Robinson, the 7-footer, comes back in to replace Treg Lee. And I mentioned triple header coverage coming your way. Penn State, Eastern Michigan, Wake Forest and Alabama, Texas St. John's from right here, Michigan State, and Rick Majerus' squad, the Utah squad. Big day right here on CBS. This is Ohio State's biggest lead, 10 points, 48-38 with 14 minutes remaining in the contest. Geiger, too anxious to get it, kicks it. It'll go over to the Buckeyes.
I'm going to say he kicked it. You're right. But Carter defensively, with the strength, pushed Geiger in the back, then released. And Geiger, as most postmen, fell back. It's an old Rick Mahorn trick in the NBA with the Sixers.
Rick Mahorn, every bit as strong, well, as a matter of fact, stronger than Terry Carter.
A couple of years older. Little double screen.
Jamal Brown. Mackey with the rebound. A wide open Barry, he didn't notice. Anderson. Bill, I guess as good a stat as any to underscore how Kenny Anderson is pressing. He has only 1 assist on the afternoon.
And against North Carolina, he was in double figures. And that's what they need from him. He's coming down and popping instead of initiating the offense.
Well, Malcolm Mackey, while he started off quickly in the scoring column, certainly has been doing it on the boards. He's got 12, trying to keep Georgia Tech within range.
Georgia Tech ball.
Why do women always know when you're not telling them the whole story? And why do they always change plans at the last minute? And why do we keep putting up with them?
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So while women may remain a mystery, refreshment won't.
We can all count on. Qualities that we have come to know and trust. Pride, good friends, and simple, honest value. These are the things we know we can depend on. Chevrolet, the cars more Americans depend on.
Is the Washington Monument on shaky ground? No, but the man who they call the Washington Monument may be. Watch 60 Minutes tonight.
Midwest Region second round action, first game of the afternoon. Number 1 seed, Ohio State. The 8th seed, Georgia Tech. Buckeyes leading it by 10.
Bench strength, wearing Tech down, physical, interchanging people on Kenny Anderson, but more importantly, good defenders on Barry as well when they interchange. And the idea coming in by Randy Ayers and staff was to shut other people down.
And they've done that. Barry only 2 of 8 from the floor, and Kenny Anderson with that miss, 5 of 18 from the floor. And I think Jamie Skelton is going to be tagged with that foul.
The Ohio State foul on number 15, Jamie Skelton.
First personal on Jamie Skelton. The shooting woes for Tech continue. Give Ohio State a lot of credit, as Bill Raftery talked about the defense. Front court scoring manhandled the Buckeyes, just doing a great job. And Barry, 1 of 7 now from 3-point range.
Now you get used to a guy ringing the bell, and it diffuses the enthusiasm when he can't nail him.
Jim Jackson, Jamie Skelton, Chris Gent, Bill Robinson, and Perry Carter, the 5 in white for Ohio State. This is Perry Carter, jump hook. Mackey with his 13th rebound. Mackey's done the job.
He sure has. Jimmy Jackson was the point guy that trip as Skelton unnecessarily rides Anderson.
And picks up his second foul in the process. 12:24 remaining in the game. Ohio State holding to a 10-point lead.
Right now, I think Bobby Crimmins, what he has to do is let Kenny Anderson run the point, give it up, go down and through, and use either side for bumps. And then he's
bumps being
post screens, occasionally a single or double, and then let him do some work when he's only 15 feet from the basket. And of course, then you don't get as much assistance defensively.
So you think Anderson's working too hard with the ball himself?
He's forcing the issue quickly. Is to let the game come to him.
Anderson with 16 points. Cut into the Buckeyes lead. It's now 8.
A little more pressure. Pass of 2-2-1. He can play a few positions, can he? At least on my team he can.
Listed as a guard, but opens up as a forward. This is Skelton, and Skelton drops it down.
Little hometown action.
Meadowdale High School here in Dayton, Ohio. He's played on this floor before. Back up to a 10-point lead. Anderson working hard and scoring.
Well, he got the kiss.
And 18.
Shouldn't come that easy against a good defensive team. Ohio State lacks.
Jackson. Blocked from behind by Geiger. 4-on-2. Anderson. And Robinson on his tiptoes at 7 feet. Got an elbow in his forehead, and Bill Robinson is bleeding from his forehead.
You said tiptoes. That was on the way down.
I was trying to be kind.
Oh, he said he wasn't soaring.
Jackson is fouled. And if it's on Geiger...
All right, we're going to get you right back to Ohio State and Georgia Tech, but let's show you what else is happening. Michigan State and Utah in Tucson will be tipping shortly after 2 in the East. Wake Forest and Alabama, that's Southeast region play. That's also in the 2 o'clock set of games. But in Syracuse, Villanova has made a rally now against North Carolina. And Mike, fill us in. What's happened?
They trailed by 18. They're on a 17-8 run right now. They just turned the ball over, down 9. They've shot the ball very well from the perimeter, 7 of 14 from 3 to get themselves back into the game, surprisingly, considering that they've played at Carolina's tempo throughout.
The score is North Carolina 68, Villanova 59. George Lynch just got a basket a moment ago for the Tar Heels to increase the lead to 9. Villanova had moved within 7. We'll keep you posted on that one. But in the meantime, let's get back to Ohio State with Jim Jackson on the line, James Brown and Bill Raftery on headset for CBS.
Patted him on the head. Great deal of respect for one another.
Ohio State continuing its mastery on the offensive glass as Chris Gent grabs another rebound, and that has enabled Ohio State in part to stay ahead by 9 here, 51-42. 10:45 remaining. James Brown along with Bill Raftery and Kenny Anderson trying to take things in his own hands. Barry for 3.
He's too good a shooter.
And Anderson picks up his 3rd personal foul. Matt Geiger, the 7-footer for Georgia Tech, has already fouled out. Brian Hill has 3. Kenny Anderson now has 3.
You notice in the screen there, Crimmins was talking to John Barry. What had happened was he's missing his shot. He forgot to get back on defense. And it affects you that way when you're a shooter.
Robinson can't control it. This is Anderson. Barry. And Brian Hill can't get the roll, but he does get his own rebound. And his foul. And Robinson, take your pick, Robinson or Baker, probably Robinson. Looks like he should have fouled, huh?
Well, it's usually him if he's in the area. But Barry should have shot that basketball, finished that sequence, unsure of himself. And in the next 10 minutes, he has to relax. Now, Anderson getting the blow. All of a sudden, it's more important that Barry play within himself. Get his feet set and concentrate and nail the shot.
4th personal foul on Bill Robinson. Now, psychologically, does it hurt Georgia Tech with Anderson out? Are they aimless without him?
Well, they've got a point guard. Domalik is a extraordinary three-point shooter, has run the point for them on occasion. But more importantly, they might be a little more patient with Kenny. Kenny gets his head back on his back and might play a little better basketball.
And Bill Robinson not having to jump for that rebound.
He doesn't wear out the shoes, huh?
Then again, if you block out well, you don't have to. Gent. Coming off of a season-high 17 points on Friday, Chris Gent, when he got the starting nod in place of Treg Lee.
Now, when he shoots, what a bonus for Randy Ayers.
A 10-point lead still by Ohio State.
Now, Domalik plays within himself. Nice.
Hill, nice move by Brian Hill. That's what Bobby Crimmins was looking for in the first half as well.
Run some offense. That's one of the few times they ran their set.
Now, that could be a plus with Kenny not in there because psychologically they don't look to Kenny that much.
It's a confidence builder.
Well, I guess they couldn't if he wasn't in there, huh?
They'll look to him when he's in.
53-45, Buckeyes on top. Baker, nice move.
This is his floor. He had 23 against Cleveland St. Joseph's. And Carol, like all wives, so supportive. That's the toughest job of all, huh?
Yeah, she's got a good job herself. Heads up the language department at the Columbus School for Girls.
Nice note. There's Randy, big family, all well-educated. Mature at a young age from his brothers teaching him a few things about life.
Brother went to Dartmouth, older brother. Newbill. Back out to Brian Hill.
And patience showing.
Barry. Barry still not finding the range from three-point land. And Brian Hill with another rebound.
And Becky wants the ball.
Lee with the rebound for Ohio State.
And Treg doing a little bit of everything.
Most improved player in the conference, the Big Ten, Treg Lee.
He also played on this floor for Cleveland St. Joseph against Dayton Dunbar. He played against Baker here.
Robinson. Newbill with the rebound. This is Brian Domalik.
Randy Ayers done a marvelous job inserting different bodies in the game. They're going to be well rested the rest of the game.
Newbill. And Alvano Newbill finds the range for his first basket of the afternoon. It's an 8-point Ohio State lead. And Randy Ayers wants to talk things over. 7:29 remaining. Buckeyes fans with a little bit to cheer about.
The women's Final Four in 2 weeks.
There's a thread that runs through our lives, a thread that binds us together. Friendship, family, pride. These are the values that endure. The best things have always been those that last. Chevrolet, the truck that lasts.
Now, United brings you the new World's Fair. Low fares to almost anywhere United and United Express fly. $69 to $159 to anywhere in the continental U.S. Hawaii from $149. Plus great low fares to Europe and Asia. Buy your ticket by April 8th and travel between now and May 19th. Seats are limited and significant restrictions apply. So call your travel agent or United now for our new World's Fair. Come fly the friendly skies.
Subway's Cold Cut Combo. It starts with a foundation of the freshest bread anywhere. Baked every 4 hours in every Subway store. Then cheese, 3 kinds of meat, and whichever of our 9 tasty fixins you choose. Total construction cost, $1.69. It's time to eat. Subway 6-inch Cold Cut Combo. For $1.69, we can build one for you.
And in enthusiastic. 13,500 on hand. Ohio State on top by 8. Georgia Tech shooting woes continuing, having gotten worse here in the second half. Ohio State improved principally because of their job on second chance points. Offensive rebounds, Ohio State leads 16-12. And Kenny Anderson trying one-handed and one man to lead the squad back. John Barry draws the offensive charge from Mark Baker.
The one thing about John Barry, he's going to give you an assist, even if he's struggling. Gets the ball back, Anderson back in. Let's see if he plays within himself. Give it up, go down and through.
Jamie Skelton in to replace Mark Baker. Baker picks up his 4th personal foul. 5 for Georgia Tech. Kenny Anderson, John Barry, Brian Hill, Malcolm Mackey, and Alvano Newbill.
And they give a nice double screen. Look at the pop out by Carter.
Anderson. Kenny Anderson with the breather.
Within the system.
20 points for Kenny Anderson.
Tougher for Ohio State without Baker in. And that's the kind of shot you don't want to have with Baker in. It may not have taken place.
14 rebounds for Mackey. Make it 15. And Carter draws the foul. Newbill over his back. First personal for Alvano Newbill. Team 5th.
And Kenny just disrupted things by coming down and drilling. He's getting better shots within the framework of the offense.
Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, Bill and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. And in their honor, Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. As Perry Carter draws the foul from Malcolm Mackey, that'll be 3 on Mackey. Now here is where Perry Carter hates to be on the basketball floor.
Well, he gets that rash as soon as he hears the whistle. Smiles, but just not confident. Doesn't have the stroke. Around the tin, he's dynamite. Here, something less than explosive. Well, the real estate business has been down. He can certainly help build a few.
You think maybe he has a summer job as a mason, brick mason?
Such a great attitude for the game. It's got to be frustrating. He may fit in with those deliveries. Little ISO in the middle of the floor. They should go deep.
Carter, goaltending.
Jackson didn't have it, gave it to Gent. Great post pass. And they just don't have the numbers down low, Georgia Tech.
In spite of Carter's poor free throw shooting, he's got 17 points on the afternoon. And Gent rivaling John Barry in the floor burn department.
He's wild.
Loose.
He's wild. Then he offers it all up every minute he's on the floor. He didn't get a piece of it, but he helped Skelton get a piece.
Under 6 to play. Anderson. Carter with the rebound.
He may have walked.
And he did. It'll go back to Georgia Tech.
Well,
Tech down by 8, Bill.
JB, you were a great player. No, you were. And sometimes you try and do it on your own. And Kenny Anderson at that point now, and he's actually hurting his team. Step back, get an overview, and get your other guys involved.
Here's a guy they'd like to get more involved, Brian Hill. Nice job defensively by Jackson. Good pass from Hill to Newbill. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 25 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, Skelton might be thin and not the best in the weight room, but he works hard.
Anderson fouled by Skelton.
Ohio State foul number 34, Treg Lee.
Check that. They called it on Treg Lee. That'll be his 3rd. As Skelton heads off to take a seat. And Chris Gent back in. Jamal Brown and Mark Baker. So it's Mark Baker, Jamal Brown, Jim Jackson, Treg Lee, and Perry Carter.
Kenny Anderson at the line for Georgia Tech.
Coach, you still have good eyes.
So I'm trying to help out there. But that's the other problem that Kenny's having. If you know a guy is going to beat you with the bounce, in a sense, you're the king because you can shade, pinch defensively. It's not one-on-one, it's one-on-two, and occasionally some support from the rear.
Now, that means Bobby Crimmins ought to be talking to Kenny Anderson to let him know that.
He is, and he's trying to calm him down. But unfortunately, he's been forceful in his mind offensively.
Good steal by Hill, and Anderson converts.
Kenny Anderson.
Down to a 4-point ball game with 5:08 remaining. Kenny Anderson with his 24th point of the afternoon.
They couldn't switch the defense. That 2-2-1 half-court trap got them the easy deuce. Go low, Buckeyes.
Baker. Treg Lee. And a foul underneath. It looks like it's going to be called. Is it going to be on Newbill?
Yeah, I think so. Let's say the other way. They got it on Carter.
Perry Carter?
Everybody pointing at Newbell, but that was because he was going to shoot.
And that's 3 on Perry Carter. 10 team fouls on Ohio State, so that means a 2-shot free throw shooting situation for Newbill.
Kenny Anderson going over to Bobby to look at some X's and O's, and the nicest line I heard Kenny say was, Bobby makes you a better person.
Compliment indeed.
And right now I don't think they're thinking of personalities.
They like to get a free throw converted here. Newbill only a 48% free throw shooter, and he misses both.
Thinking of direction from Kenny.
The 2 missed free throws, big. Tech still trailing by 4.
There's that half-court trap once more. They got 1 deuce out of it, and now they settle back. The problem Randy Ayers has now, if you get it low to Carter, the foul, it's almost an empty trip if he goes to the foul line. But then again, Tech does not have many fouls to give up.
Exactly the point that I was going to make. With Tech with 3 guys in foul trouble, 1 having already fouled out, Matt Geiger. Jackson, under 10 seconds on the shooting clock. Jamal Brown.
Good job.
And Mackey with yet another rebound. 17 rebounds for Malcolm Mackey.
Underrated player. Gives them a good night. They normally win.
Goes from 5 points he averaged last year to just about 16 this season. And he's still improving. Nice pass by Mackey to Barry. Oh, good move by John Barry.
Great look, the back door.
2-point game. And Newbill will pick up the foul.
When they've run their offense, JB, some good things have happened. The read as Barry is denied out back. You have to understand the game well enough to make the cut. And you see Baker shutting them off. That is a deft little touch on that bounce pass by Newbill.
That really underscores your point about playing within the offensive set as opposed to letting Kenny Anderson try to take too much control himself.
Well, you never disarm the defense when you come down and shoot the jumper with the ball having not been touched by enough people.
Treg Lee takes a seat on the bench, replaced by Chris.
All right. Ohio State at the line. Let's show you now the closing seconds from Syracuse as we show you both sites live from Syracuse. North Carolina, the 1 seed, about to make it into the Sweet 16 for the 11th year in a row. Villanova got within 7 in the second half, but no closer. It's a 15-point Carolina victory. North Carolina moves to the Meadowlands and into the regional semifinals. Let's go right back now to Dayton.
And despite the woes of Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets trailing by only 3 with 3:18 remaining. Carolina moving on. Dean Smith with a great squad. Hill can't get the drop, but it may stay Georgia Tech ball. It does. anybody's ball game. 3 points separating these two squads.
I'm Dave Johnson. For my training for the 1992 decathlon, I switched to the pump from Reebok. When I'm pumped up, my feet have support, protection, and a custom fit for leaping, vaulting, spinning, jumping, sprinting, hurling, racing, running, throwing, and shot putting. Now, I'm the guy who knows cross-training. Pump up and air out.
Switch to the greatest sports performance shoe in the world, the Reebok Pump. Pump up and air out.
Ready for some good news? If your car is in an accident and you have Allstate insurance, you can leave it in our hands. Allstate's recommended pro shops can do everything, including the estimate, in one stop. And to make you feel even better, Allstate will guarantee their workmanship for as long as you own your car. Well, that's the news. Now, be careful. You're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
The thoroughly modern design was a surprisingly courageous decision, one that we applaud for its solid step into the future. What knocked us out was the incredible control and maneuverability Caprice Classic LTZ brings to the party. And for that, we gave it this party favor.
Chevrolet Caprice Classic LTZ is Motor Trend Car of the Year.
It's destined to be an important car on the American scene.
And now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
The man who murdered her husband was supposed to be in prison, but there wasn't enough room. We're coming out. Not if she can help it. 48 hours, Wednesday.
Ohio State nursing a 3-point lead with 3:06 remaining in the game. And Georgia Tech still shooting woefully from the floor, but trailing by only 3. Kenny Anderson specifically 8 of 24, but his 24 points has the Yellow Jackets within range. Malcolm Mackey doing a big job on the boards. 18 rebounds on the afternoon for Malcolm Mackey of Georgia Tech. Terry Carter has been the big man for Ohio State. Carter averaging only 12 on the season. He's got 17 points thus far today.
Should get Mackey involved, I think.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Under 20. Anderson. 8 for 25 for Kenny Anderson. Skelton. Mackey. 19 rebounds for Mackey. For 26 for Kenny Anderson and a foul on Newbill. Foul number 3 on Newbill.
Foul on number 33, Ivano Newbill.
Coming up next, it'll be Texas and St. John's. Tom Penders has never beaten Lou Carnesecca, although it'll be time number 1 for these two teams, these two schools meeting. Both squads looking to advance to the round of 16. Randy Ayers, Big Ten Coach of the Year, getting an outstanding game from Perry Carter, who has 17 points and 14 rebounds.
Well, it's important now. Carter's got to be able to make some. He's going to get to the line frequently, and that's going to kill them at the end of this game.
Under 2 to play. 3 points separating these squads.
If I were Tech, I would consider switching up on Carter when he catches it, giving the foul. Don't have one of your big guys on him.
Jamal Brown nearly with the steal. Anderson can't capitalize. And Randy Ayers is going to want to talk this one over.
Everyone knows about my expansive vocabulary and the delineations I take with language. I went to electrocution school. So when I say the wrong thing at the right time, it's funny, but only because I'm in control. But if you're drinking and you start talking like me, then it's a good inclination that you're not in control, and that's not funny. You see, responsible drinking is as easy as knowing when to say the right thing at the right time, to know when to say when. And hey, even I could say that.
A reminder from Budweiser. Now, United brings you the new World's Fair. Low fares to almost anywhere United and United Express fly. $69 to $159 to anywhere in the continental U.S. Hawaii from $149, plus great low fares to Europe and Asia. Buy your ticket by April 8th and travel between now and May 19th. Seats are limited and significant restrictions apply. So call your travel agent or United now for our new World's Fair. Come fly the friendly skies.
If motorcycling has seemed out of reach, maybe you just haven't reached for the right motorcycle. Legendary Inline 4 performance is now within your reach. Introducing the Nighthawk 750, only from Honda.
When you're looking for mystery, you always start at the scene of the crime. Premieres Wednesday, April 3rd on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
In the NCAA Tournament, this is the University of Dayton Arena. Second round action here in the Midwest. Ohio State with a 3-point lead over Georgia Tech. 1:35 remaining. Vital stats, Bill.
Timeout's important. Ohio State with the one left. Of course, Georgia Tech with the possession arrow. Georgia Tech came out with that trap, which was successful. Now they're back in man-to-man. I would consider giving the foul to Carter. One way of stopping this Ohio State club.
Statistically sound, you're right. Perry Carter, only 2 of his last 14 at the free throw line.
Nice hedge.
Brown for 3. Treg Lee with the rebound. Number 12 for Treg Lee, but he loses it. Georgia Tech ball. Under a minute to play.
Kenny's got to have poise here. Get set. Bobby calling the play. Crimmins, they're better when they run something.
Tech trailing by 3. 12-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
See, they don't think inside first. They think perimeter, and it hurts in this kind of a situation.
Anderson forces it. And Mark Baker wanted the offensive foul, saying Kenny Anderson pushed it. And him. 5 personal fouls if it's on Baker, and he's out of there.
Number 3, Mark Baker, his 5th personal foul.
So Baker, averaging 11 on the season, leads with 6 points, but he had the responsibility of guarding Kenny Anderson, and statistically, he's done a good job as Anderson has been less than 40% from the field.
He does attract attention. You've got to think, if he makes the 2, what do you want to do? And obviously, Ohio State will try and keep Carter away from the basketball, but I would somehow entice him into a passing situation with some pressure, play everybody but him, and then give one.
And Bobby Crimmins calls a timeout to set up exactly that which you're trying to figure out.
Today, one company will bring more people from more places together than anyone else. And there will be a little more laughing, a little more sharing, and maybe for a moment or two we'll all feel a little closer. AT&T, all you need to reach out.
Extra-strength Rolaids antacid. Stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet, and salt-free. More calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
Here's something for all you truck drivers to think about. There's an oil made special for trucks. An oil
with the Shell brand. Oil that protects engines when they rev to their highest and work their hardest. Think any oil will take care of your truck? Think again. Truck Guard from Shell.
Nobody's cooking like today's tips. What's going on?
Kenny Anderson will be at the free throw line for Georgia Tech. Yellow Jackets trailing by 2 with 32.4 seconds remaining.
1-1. And of course the possession hour important. But right now, getting set on the free throw to organize into some sort of pressure. And he has hung tough despite not an easy flowing game. A lot of attention when he steps on the floor.
Struggling from the field, but perfect at the free throw line, 9 of 9. Now, I made the point that remarkably Georgia Tech has hung in despite a poor performance, but you made the point Ohio State.
Well, the thing about them is they just are not as confident as they were earlier in the year. Not able to put people away. Might question himself after those late season losses.
Anderson misses the second free throw, and it's still a 2-point game. And Anderson fouls Jamal Brown. Kenny Anderson picks up foul number 4 with 30.2 seconds remaining.
Now, Randy Ayers not asleep over there in that timeout. He got
Perry
your
Carter
man,
out of the game.
Body Beautiful said, come right over here, son.
Boy, talk about staying on top of the game. Randy Ayers, a good bench tactician indeed.
And now he's got him back in for
rebounding purposes. We'll talk about having prepared well for the head coaching responsibilities that Ayers has at Ohio State now. 3 years under Eldon Miller, 3 under Gary Williams. Came in with his own system and his own head, and he's doing well.
And he always compliments Gary Williams because what he did is he took some of his ideas, refined them, and put his personality into the team.
And now he's got quickness in there. Treg Lee on the bench, Jamie Skelton in. Skelton at 6'2", 180 as Jamal Brown hits the free throw to give the Buckeyes a 3-point lead. Make it 4.
You're looking for a 2-pointer now if you're Tech. No sense shooting a long one. Penetration by Kenny.
Why not the long one?
Well, it's a 2-trip game. 4 points.
Wow. There's the first 2.
Get the timeout.
18.8 seconds remaining. Back to a 2-point game.
Georgia Tech calls a timeout.
What is the image of a rebel? These are the images of a rebel. Canon's revolutionary autofocus EOS Rebel.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel from Canon. So advanced it's simple.
Extra strength Rolaids antacid. Stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet, and salt-free. More calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
When it came to redefining the word luxury, it wasn't a Webster. It was Oldsmobile.
The 98 defines luxury in terms of how much you get, not how much you spend. Anti-lock brakes, fuel-efficient power, computerized suspension, technology found in cars costing thousands more.
And you can always take a Webster at his word.
The new 98. Luxury redefined.
Generation Bubbles.
Great values, big prizes during Oldsmobile's drive to the Final Four Sell-a-thon. You can't miss.
If your sporty car doesn't feel so sporty anymore, you need a change. By the team, the B.F. Goodrich Tire Team. They'll put on B.F. Goodrich TA Performance tires. Tires designed just for your sporty car. It's a whole new level of performance. Feel the difference. See your B.F. Goodrich Tire Team if they don't see you first.
It's a major reunion.
Have we met before?
When Simon & Simon's Jameson Parker catches up with Gerald McCraney.
You're a Marine. That's right. Great way to disguise hair loss.
Makes a dad Monday.
18.8 seconds to see who advances to the round of 16. Georgia Tech with no timeouts remaining. Possession arrow favors Georgia Tech. Bill, each foul from this point, a shooting situation.
Well, it'll be a two-shot foul. Brandewee in the ball game, only a 62%, and more importantly, he's only played 7 minutes a game. You'd ideally like a 5-second violation here if you're Tech. And a giveaway right away. Got to give it. Stop the clock 1 second.
And Jim Jackson is the man who's fouled. He is a 77% free throw shooter on the season. So Randy Ayers had him set up to receive the inbounds pass.
Georgia Tech foul, number 11, Brian Hill.
Perry Carter and Jamie Skelton come back into the lineup, replacing Treg Lee and Brandewee.
Jamie Skelton. Perry Carter back in the lineup for Ohio State.
And Ayers has to be pleased because his team only 10 of 21 from the free throw line today. Jackson makes it a 3-point lead.
Now this one now changes it. On the make, it's a problem. You've got to rush down, look for the three. I think with 17, you don't have any timeouts left.
Now it's a 4-point lead, so Ohio State may give them the easy one. Short! And Carter with a big rebound again. 8.9 seconds remaining. Malcolm Mackey picks up his 4th personal foul. Perry Carter snatches his 18th rebound. Any free throw, a bonus here for Carter with the 4-point Buckeyes lead. And he gets one.
Wow. Well, Randy's got to be pretty happy.
Even though he has the poker face, Randy Ayers, he's smiling inside with Carter having made that one.
In practice, they wear catcher's mitts.
And what do you know?
He shoots free throws.
He gets the roll. Hill for 3.
3-point basket, Brian Hill.
And Georgia Tech cannot call a
They get a
timeout.
technical. The only way they can stop the clock.
And 0.8 of a second remaining. Tech trailing by 3.
Technical foul has been called on Georgia Tech.
Now you can get a shot off, but it may be a moot point with Jim Jackson at the free throw line.
Well, don't forget the 2 plus the ball. So I mean, they just have to. This one is history.
And it is a moot point. It won't happen.
This could be his last game. A lot of thrills for a lot of people if he so chooses to enter the NBA ranks. Because even in the end, the penetration trying to get the deuce, I think he was under the assumption they had another timeout. He's the one that called it, Kenny. But a great career if he moves on. And they brought in a point guard. Brandewee trying to get on the scoreboard.
So Ohio State moves on to the round of 16. 65-61 victory over Georgia Tech. So for Bill Raftery, I'm James Brown saying so long from Dayton, Ohio. Let's take you back to New York. Jim Nance, Willie Packer, and Mike Francesa.
All right, James Brown, thank you. And Ohio State now heads to the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan for the Midwest Regionals. And we're going to head out now to 4 different sites. First, everyone's going to Atlanta for the start of the Wake Forest-Alabama game. At 2:27, Penn State and Eastern Michigan will tip. Michigan State against Utah is a 2:35 tip Eastern time. That's a game that will take place in Tucson. And the Texas-St. John's game is about a half hour away. We're going to send everybody for Wake Forest and Alabama. Of course, Georgetown, UNLV is later in the afternoon. But Wake and Alabama coming up after this message and a word from your local station.
There's a thread that runs through our lives. A thread that binds us together. Friendship, family, pride. These are the values that endure. The best things have always been those that last. Chevrolet, the truck that lasts.
The heartbeat of America.
I helped my dad build this place. Well, help. I was so small I could barely swing the hammer. But he taught me a lot about tools. He used to say, you can buy cheap tools every couple of years. Or you can buy Stanley once.
Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut has been helping people do things right. Stanley.
I even take my tape roll fishing. Well, that way I'll know how big a story to tell.
Morning, folks. This is Captain Neely. Appears we've got the friendly skies all to ourselves.
While most people are just getting up, one airline is off to over 200 business centers across the U.S. United.
Thanks for flying friendly skies.